Hi everybody, welcome to Evening TV. A desktop computer where she did her editing and stuff set up for her, and it was fully hers. No one else used it, and so when she left, we found all this stuff on it that she had recorded. And now, first of all, in Washington State, where we live, it is against the law to record someone without them knowing it. But anyways, I contacted a lawyer and asked, I didn't record them, and he said that they were my property because they're left on my computer. So I figured that they are such rich examples of some of the very worst narcissistic parenting I have ever seen. I mean, just absolutely the worst. There's no reason to let these things go to waste. I should go ahead and use them to show you guys some of what's going on, and also show you how you absolutely can go about creating a sociopath. Because this young woman, this 18-year-old woman, she moved here when she was 17, left when she was 18, and these recordings offer such insight into her, because the person that you will hear on these recordings is not the person I ever saw here. In these recordings, she is very calm. She is standing up to her mother. When she was here, she told me that she was just very intimidated by her mother, terrified. She was very meek and mild, and actually she acted a lot more like her mother around here. She acted much more hysterical, hyper emotional, cried, and was very, very not under control of her emotions at all around here, and always acted like she was just terrified of her mother. The story that we had, which I totally believed, was that she left this abusive home because she was just completely being controlled and intimidated, and work day and night, taking care of everything, cleaning the house, taking care of all the housework and all that stuff, that her parents didn't give her any money, that even at Christmas time, that they didn't give her she didn't get any gifts for any occasions, and even at Christmas that her parents asked her for $100 that they could use to buy presents for some other people, other family members. And so according to her, her parents offered her no financial support at all, and my son had really done nothing but try and help her. She had drug problems before. We all tried to help the family, help her through that, and they were very they didn't want to talk about that. They skipped right over talking about her drug problems, and she launched into, this is when they were 16 and 17, launched into trying to bring up my son on charges of statutory rape and all this kind of stuff, which she later denied ever saying that. Her mom clearly was not mentally stable and very abusive, and mistreated my son, mistreated me. They literally live a 5-minute walk away, and she's never met me. When her daughter was living here for almost a year, never called me, never called to say thank you, never called when my son died. She never called to say, I'm sorry to hear about your son. Never called to see how her daughter was doing here. Never called to offer thanks. Never called me at all, period, ever at all. It seems pretty clear that they were just really happy to have us financially supporting their daughter, which we did completely. Financially supported her, and gave her a job, and gave her basically everything, that just sort of laying the groundwork for where we are. I think one is around Halloween, because one of them, I think they're talking about her Halloween costume that she went home to get. They're talking about sewing it, and the other and stuff like that. And then and the other one, I think, is around January. Or no, actually, it's right before Christmas, because we were going to take a trip to Mexico, and she was going to come with us, and that's mentioned in one of the videos. So that's right before Christmas. Okay, so what's clear in the videos is that this young woman, we'll call her she is clearly playing all sides against the middle. She's clearly blaming my son for things like her not passing her classes and things like that, which he is absolutely not responsible for. He has 2 jobs, and she had tons of time by herself, tons of time to get plenty of time to get her schoolwork done and all that stuff, and she was doing a lot of things besides what she was supposed to be doing, and clearly blaming him for it, which the mother was all too willing to accept. Really taught her daughter to not take responsibility, to manipulate with emotions. There's everything so phony that it's clear that she had completely figured out that emotions are a way to manipulate people, and so she's one person here, and then she was completely different with us. So this was really a surprise to me to hear how she is in this video, or in this audio. But anyways, let's just get into it, and I'll play some of these for you, and you can just kind of hear what I'm talking about. Okie dokie. So, okay, this one they were talking about her Halloween costume.
Ass off, and you don't even get ready, and then you double plan. Always on top. You never ever set a time.
You said it would only take a couple of seconds.
A couple of seconds? You're joking.
That's what you said. It would only take a couple of minutes.
I did not say it would take a couple of seconds. Just leave.
No, Mom. I need to finish this.
No. Just go.
I need to finish this, Mom.
This takes hours to do it right.
Why would you tell me that?
Because I planned, maybe, that you would care enough to stay here and plan somewhere you're not either sleeping or sick or doing something with somebody else. Because you always double plan everything and never set any time for us.
It's not true.
It is. Every fucking time. You see that asshole every day, and we get, what, 10 minutes?
Well, maybe, like, he can come over here sometimes so that we can, like...
Tell him, no, I've made plans with my parents like every other kid that loves their parents does.
Okay, now, get this straight. This girl has left home and moved in with us. This girl lives with us. She doesn't even want to see her. She doesn't want to see her daughter enough that she would allow... Why wouldn't you want to have your daughter's boyfriend be part of your life? It's just absolutely crazy. So they are talking about, she has this Halloween costume is what this is all about. And apparently her mom has gone and bought some things to fix up the costume or something, but she's calling her a neurotic mess. She's saying that whenever she comes over there. Now these are all things that I didn't know. She says every time you come over here, you're either sick or sleeping, or I didn't know any of that. So.
Well, I love you guys.
You don't. You don't call. You never come over. You never even talk to Dad.
Well, you never got to
Did
me.
you didn't send anybody, did you thank anybody for your birthday presents?
Yeah, Grandma.
Grandma?
And
You didn't, Paul said you never talked to him, Connie said you
I
never
sent him a birthday card.
He never got it. Okay, just go.
Why?
Because...
We're busy and we're wasting time by you yelling at me.
No, because you will not do what I ask you to do. You never make plans with us to do something. It's always, you get here in 5 minutes, you're texting Liam to come pick you up. And it hurts my feelings. Dad's just given up on you. There's so many things that need to be
Dad
done.
hasn't given up on me. What are you talking about?
You have hurt him so bad, you never talk to him at all. It's only if I buy you something that you come over here.
That's not true.
It is, because where are you doing anything with us? Nothing. So you just go. And you go and do. Because, see, you plan everything up on top. It's called double planning. I had shot for days. I wanted to have something special with you to make you look great. Not this psychotic mess. Just go. Go right ahead. Go out the door. Because you never plan anything with me, or of quality. And you don't get it, and you don't care.
I do
You
care.
spent a fortune. You just go.
That's not true.
It is true. Not in your mind that is impaired.
My mind isn't impaired.
Good. Just go.
My mind is not impaired at all.
Okay, this is mind being impaired thing. This is another thing that her mother used to always say. She used to always say that that her mind was impaired because she apparently had some kind of concussion or something when she was like 15, and ever since then it was almost like there was this Munchausen by proxy thing going on where her mom was constantly saying that she had an impaired mind. Basically what I think it was is I think that she just turned into a teenager, and that all of a sudden she started acting like a teenager, and her mom was like, oh no, what's happened? Because anyone who's gone through raising kids knows that all of a sudden you have this sweet little kid and all of a sudden you have somebody else in your, and I think that that's what happened. I think her mother's just very ill-equipped to handle having a teenager, to handle having someone who had a mind of her own. And but what's really shocking about this to me is that while she's saying this to her mother, what she was always saying to me was that, that I'm just not thinking right, and I'm, she was always making excuses about how her mind was impaired, about her. Basically, she took on what her mom was saying. She acts differently around her mom, but she was saying what her mom's saying to me. She was acting very hysterical around me and acting like she wasn't thinking right all the time. Like her, that she needed help with her, she needed to see a counselor or something because her mind wasn't working right all the time when she was talking to me. And, but she's so, it's really, to hear her talking here is just completely different than any person I ever heard. And isn't this mother just the worst? This mother is just absolutely the worst. The feeling I get is that once she leaves, that none of this is real at all. This is just complete and pure and total manipulation. And so she's let this girl move out of the house. She doesn't seem to care about that, and there's no real genuine concern. She's never, like I said, never called and asked how's she doing. Is she okay? And she makes it absolutely unbearable to go over there and visit her. There's no fun. This is the way I think about it. I think once kids are adults and they're, basically once they're moved out of the house, there's no reason for them to. If it's no fun, why do it? You basically have to take the role of a friend at that point. Why would you wouldn't hang around with anybody who treated you like this, who acted this way. I can't quite understand a mother that thinks this way. It's just so self-defeating. What's interesting is, according to Elle, she didn't get any gifts from anybody. So that's interesting because I had no idea that she had any gifts at all from anyone. She didn't talk about her family at all. She didn't talk about, really hardly at all. So she didn't say anything about that anyone got her any birthday gifts. The only thing I remember is that she did get together with her mom for her birthday, and it was a terrible day. She came back and she said it was just an awful day. Their mom just absolutely ruined it, and it was just the worst. That's all I remember about that. And her birthday is in August, and so this is October, I believe.
Miss Kelly, your first grade teacher's.
It doesn't matter. It's not like that. I'm sorry.
It is like that.
Just calm down.
Listen, here, take that off because it needs to be sewn.
It doesn't really need to be sewn
It
up.
does. Take it off.
No.
Okay, they're still talking about the Halloween costume. The mother was just talking about the first grade teacher. She's talking about this girl's first grade teacher. She's 18. And she was talking about their first grade teacher had made some comment about her.
But doesn't look.
Stop and take it off because I am sewing it.
You don't need. I just tucked it under here.
You're gonna do what I tell you.
I don't understand why you just snap at me like this all the time, Mom.
You have absolutely no consideration for other
I
people.
do have consideration for other people. You can't tell
Not
me I
us.
don't. Yes, I do have consideration for you guys.
Please show me where. Just really show me how. If you did this to Liam, he'd talk to you for probably 6 hours.
Don't talk about him that way.
I will anyway.
Okay, this is the only time she sticks up for Liam, which I'm actually happy to hear. But it's clear in another one of these that she's obviously playing Liam against that she's planning to break up with Liam, and that's the plan that she and her mother have together. But in this one, she actually is standing up for him right there, which is kind of good.
Because
Oh, another thing that's interesting, she never swore in front of me. Never, ever. She acted like she didn't swear, which is very interesting. And that was clearly she was mirroring me, because I don't really cuss a lot. Because obviously she cusses all the time. It was on all these text messages she left and all these videos and stuff she left. Yeah.
No, you don't.
So her mom's saying, you don't know him, like all the adults do. Now, she hasn't let Liam in the house in however long. She's never met me. but somehow she's an expert on Liam.
You know him better than I do. You just said that you know him and I do.
Everybody does, except
Everybody knows him better than you do.
you.
You can't tell me something like that and expect me to believe it because you don't even know him.
Well, every adult
You don't
can
even
see
know
it in
him.
2 seconds.
Every adult. Now, this is the thing. She always talks about every adult. Her daughter is an adult. She's an adult. But she constantly treats her like a child and says so. Says you're not an adult.
It's changed you to be like him.
He's changed you to be like him. Not been the compliant little girl or whatever she, was before.
He hasn't changed.
Consideration whatsoever.
He's opened my eyes to a lot of things that I wasn't able to see before. Why don't we just go down and eat dinner right now so now you can't blame me for the
I'm
things
not
being
going to
told.
blame you, Lauren. In life, see, when you care about people and they tell you how much you hurt them, somebody cares. You don't.
I do care.
You think it's blame. Like, that we abused you your whole life. Let alone we sacrificed everything for you. You can see that.
I can see that, Mom. And I
The
ruined
guilt
your
trip.
reputation. I didn't ruin your reputation.
Oh, yes, you did.
No, I did not.
Ruined our reputation.
Yes, you did.
Don't be ridiculous.
See, we live in the adult world, Lauren.
I live in an adult world too.
No, you don't.
I'm pretty sure that I'm standing here and living, and I don't understand why you just freaked out like that.
Okay, well, whatever.
But these things are just so awful. I mean, they just make my skin crawl. This whole, you ruined our reputation. And, I mean, her mom's just so overtly out of control and abusive. This is not, I think about having narcissistic parents myself. This was not anything like what I experienced. Mine was much different than this. It was much more of a neglect sort of thing, not this hysterical, overt manipulation. I mean, this is just absolutely, this woman just comes off as completely insane as far as I'm concerned.
You should be more stable.
And did you hear you should be more stable. The girl that I saw living in our house would never have said those words to anybody. It was just crazy.
Haven't seen it. Lauren, it's all us doing things for you. You never do anything back. You don't love us. You don't care. You don't call. You're not on time.
I was 2 minutes late because I thought I was 2 minutes late to get in the car because I left my curling iron on.
2 hours.
What? 2 hours?
2 hours.
What?
You're 2 hours late. And then you sleep.
What do you mean 2 hours late?
Okay. I call. How many times do I text you before you answer? And then it's like, oh, I'm going dinner tonight. Oh, I can.
Well,
go
I didn't go to dinner tonight.
because you double planned.
I didn't even realize that we were doing something today.
Oh, I only talked about you with you all
One
last
time.
week.
One time.
No,
I didn't realize that it was today. I'm sorry.
because you don't plan.
Right.
Okay, there's one more, and this one's a little different. This one, they're in the car. I can tell they're in a car, and it looks like she's about ready to drop her off somewhere, and they're in a hurry to get someplace. And this one, she's really going off about my son, and it's just awful. It's just awful. But in this one, what you can hear is you can hear that it's clear that there is a plan to break up with my son, and she's talking about school, and she's completely blaming my son for her doing poorly on her schoolwork. But she's talking about her finals and all that stuff. This girl is completely flunked out of her classes, and the classes she's talking about here, she flunks out of these too. So she completely blows off school. But which her mother is all too prepared to blame my son for.
Close from getting your AA degree, and your finals are Thursday. I suggest you come and stay with me till Sunday, because he's going to fuck your life over.
It'll
If
be
you're
fine.
stressed, no, it's not. It's never fine. And he's ruined every single final you've taken. And this is the first one that you're close to because you don't know how to handle that moron.
Moron, my son.
You can't argue with him. You say, shut the fuck up, and I'm leaving you. It's not worth you losing another quarter and $1,200 to go to Mexico. You need to see your life. He is there to fuck it up. He knows you're leaving him. If you get a degree, you're going to leave him. He knows this, Lauren. And if he puts you under stress, your brain doesn't work. Is your brain working at all?
Yes.
No. It doesn't work at all. You can't see that because you're not an adult. You are going out into the adult world. You can't be late. You can't. There are no excuses. Adults prepare an hour ahead of time. They have everything ready the night before. They check it. They make a list of what they need. They are not a space cadet like you because you stayed out.
I didn't leave the house.
It doesn't matter. You need 8 hours or more of sleep. Your brain does not function, and you're staying out every night. I know you're up all night.
Not true, they didn't go out.
If you were in a real job, you would be fired instantly because there are no excuses.
That's
You have
true.
to learn to be an adult, and an adult is responsible. An adult makes a list of what they need because your brain can't remember anything under stress, correct?
Yeah.
Now, I am trying to help you, but I can't do it for you because you don't live with me. You've made the biggest mistake of your life by living with that moron who has ruined you. You're going to pick up the pieces that you have to fucking... Okay, do not text him.
I'm running, I'm going.
Don't fall. You need to go and get the slip. You have your ATM card?
Yes,
And period
everything.
stuff. Leave this stuff.
I know, I got it, I have to go.
Hurry up. Don't.
That's just an example of absolutely the worst parenting I've just about ever seen. I mean, that is just absolutely the worst parenting. And the end result of this is that this girl is now a woman who is manipulative, deceptive, lacks empathy. She couldn't see that she had this great thing going. She couldn't see that she had genuine love and care here. She couldn't see that she had a family reaching out to her, available to her, willing to help her, and that she had everything in place for moving on with her life. She couldn't see that she had that here because in her mind, what she wanted to do was she didn't want to do things for herself. She wanted someone to do things for her, and so her plan was to leave us and to start sugaring. So that's what her plan was when she left here, was that she was going to start sugaring. And so that's all another discussion that I want to bring up in another episode. The net result of this kind of hysterical kind of parenting is that she has a girl that there's now a young woman launched out into the world who completely cut off from from emotions and completely cut off from any kind of productive, empathic, authentic, genuine feelings. And there is just going to be a trail of victims that she's going to leave behind. Because of her mother, she's completely cut off. It's so super sad, and it's not, I'm really hurt and everything and really bothered by what she did to us. It's not like I can't see where it came from, though, so, I mean, at least there's compassion there. But, so anyways, that's, I'm going to do another episode on raising compassionate kids. But let me just end this episode by saying that's not how you do it. That's how you do the opposite.